Well, Katelyn, thank you so much for helping my project. Could you say a couple words about yourself?
So right now I am a project engineer at JSC. I work on an orbital debris sensing project called MAX.
Wow.
So yeah, that's what I'm doing currently. My background's in mechanical engineering and mathematics, and yeah.
That explains your connection to last week's speaker.
Yes, of course. Yeah, she's my coworker.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
And like, what kind of technology? I mean, what's the smallest particle you're going to be able to detect in orbit?
Man, I don't know what the smallest, but we're on the micrometer order, so it's pretty small.
Yeah. Always I get concerned that I hit the record button, but I did. Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. What got you interested in that?
So I wouldn't say that I went into it particularly interested in orbital debris. I had been working on Viper for 2 years, and I was just
The
looking
rover?
for, yes, the rover
Okay.
Viper. Yes, and I was just wondering what's next. So looking at what's available, I saw several options, but orbital debris just sounded the most enticing at the moment. Just because like it's relatively new technology that we don't have like an orbital debris sensor at the moment. And the purpose of this project is that it's a technology demonstration. So if it's successful, we will eventually make a bigger three-wing structure, and then we'll use that, to get more data. But we're trying to fill this data gap in the low Earth orbit altitude around like a little bit above where the ISS is, and then we're just trying to fill that data gap with the micrometeor-sized debris. But yeah, it just sounded really cool, and yeah.
I was just wondering, how they use like the transiting planets and the very small dimming of the light from the star to detect exoplanets.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering, like the laser communication that's being used, like between like Starlink satellites, if it's possible to kind of sweep this plane for like orbital debris and look for little fluctuations in light.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering if you thought that might be worth looking into.
I think it would be worth it looking into, but I hadn't thought about it like that. But that sounds interesting.
I always think, like at night you're like driving, you can't quite see the road, but you see like the headlights up there, you're like, oh.
Right. Yeah, that would be interesting. I think it's something worth like looking into further.
Have you always been interested in space?
Yes.
Like from a little kid?
Yeah, whenever I was a little kid, like my grandma tells me stories about how I used to be able to like name the planets in order. Like when I was 3, I was reading like space books and all kind of things like that. So I don't know, like why, like how I got into it, like who introduced me to it. I don't know if it's just by nighttime story books or whatever, but it's just been something that I've been working towards for as long as I can remember.
So you can't really trace it back to like an event or a person or anything like that?
No, there wasn't anything specific that was like, in my head where I just really want to do this. It's just like always been something that I said since I was little. I want to go to NASA. I want to go to NASA. So I don't know. I just always loved science and math, and it just made sense to go here. I don't know.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I normally ask people off the street, did you know that we're going back to the moon? I think that would be a wasted question in this case.
Yeah.
But
Of course, I know that we're going back to the moon.
But when did it become real for you?
For the moon?
Mm-hmm.
Going back to the moon? I don't know, it was just always real to me. Like I always knew that we were going to go back. We've been, in the past, and there was really no reason why we shouldn't be going back now. So like I knew it was going to happen, it's just like I didn't know when it was going to happen. So, but with, Artemis and everything going on, and we're actually like putting forward the work forward to put boots on the moon again, which is, I guess, it makes it more real to me.
And when you talk to like your family and friends and they ask you, hey, why are we going back to the moon? What's your favorite reason to like tell them?
It's hard to say because everybody in my family, I guess, has like a different perspective on things. So some people, I don't know, whenever I just mention, the future of human space exploration, like we want to build a habitat but community type thing on the moon, and then eventually going forward to Mars. Like to them, there's like, sounds cool, and they don't really care too much about it. So, I mean,
they're like, it doesn't really affect me.
No,
either good or bad.
Yeah, right. They just don't really have an opinion on it. They're just like, that sounds cool, and then that's it.
Caitlin gets in a rocket, and then they're suddenly interested. Oh no, what are you
I
doing?
would never get I would never get on a rocket. I do not want to go to space.
You don't want to go to space?
No, absolutely
oh, wow.
not. I'll send you to space, but I'm not going there.
Why not?
I don't know. I'm afraid of heights. I'm afraid of not being in control of like my situation, I guess. So that's really why. I know, not that I don't trust anything. It's just like, for me, it does not sound appealing. I feel like I would be just stressed and anxious the whole time.
Do you fly on airplanes?
Yes, and I'm stressed and anxious the whole time.
So at least you're consistent.
Right? Yeah, of course.
How about elevators? No, just kidding.
Elevators are fine. I do hate whenever they like suddenly jolt to stop,
Sure.
and I'm freaking out. But I'm okay with elevators.
When you think about where all this exploration might get us, if you were to think out like 200 years in the future, what is your hope for where we end up?
I hope that 200 years from now, we've made it to Mars, possibly further. But, man, for what I hope, I want to see it succeed. Like, I want to see. I don't think I'm gonna. I don't know if I'll be able to see it, but I would hope that we have the habitat on the moon again, and we're just getting all this information to see if there's maybe another. I don't want to say another Earth out there, but like maybe there's life somewhere else. That's kind of what I hope. I hope that we are able to find life somewhere else. I just think all of this universe, and I don't think that we're the only, planet with life on it. So.
Maybe we have come in contact with some other civilization.
Man, that would be insane to think about, honestly, like coming in contact with a whole other civilization somewhere far away that's just living life, maybe, way more technologically advanced than us. That's interesting. Yeah. But I don't know if I see that happening in 200 years. It depends on how far they are, I guess.
Yeah, exactly, and how loud they're talking.
Right.
And how closely we're listening.
Right. Yeah.
In 200 years, do you see people like living their lives on the moon and Mars, like large number of people in these places, or do you think it's still like just little visits that we're doing?
In 200 years, I think I could imagine larger numbers. Yeah, not just like here and there. A few people go up for a little while and they come back eventually. I think like you'll have like a complete, like a society, like an actual working society up there. Yeah, I think in 200 years I see that.
Now, if you could put yourself in the place of somebody living 200 years on Mars, in college doing a research paper on like the early 2020s.
Oh my God.
And they're watching this video, like what could you tell them that could help them on their paper?
It depends on what they're researching, I guess. What are you researching?
How about the beginning of the true space age, or like, the time whenever like the economics of space fundamentally changed and space stopped being hard and became commonplace, which I think we're not too far away from.
Yeah, I think we're not too far away from that either. I don't know what I would tell them, to be honest. That would help them. I'm not sure. Sorry.
I know.
I'm not sure. That one's a difficult one.
You're like, do your research. No,
Yeah, do your research.
Go back to the library.
Oh man. I don't know. What about you? What would you think?
I guess it takes people believing in the future and actually not giving up until it happens. That's the way that you make change. That's kind of like my take. Like success versus failure is not how many times you fell, but when you decided to give up.
That's true.
It's kind of like Edison's light bulb, I guess, is the classic example.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, if you want to do it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, don't give up.
Don't give up. Yeah.
Don't give up.
Well, Katelyn, it's a pleasure to get to talk to you, and I look forward to getting to learn from all these other speakers and discuss as a class and all the things we might learn from each other.
Yeah, it's awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.